The crisp morning air at O'Hare International Airport carried the familiar scent of jet fuel that Bianca Carter had grown to love over her 15 years in aviation. As she adjusted her perfectly pressed Skyline Airways uniform, her fingers traced the senior flight attendant wings pinned to her lapel, a symbol of countless hours spent among the clouds where she truly felt at home. The pre-flight briefing for Flight SA-1742 to Los Angeles proceeded as usual, but something in Bianca's gut told her this wouldn't be an ordinary journey. Perhaps it was the unusual number of paparazzi lingering around the terminal, or maybe just one of those inexplicable hunches that experienced flight attendants develop over time. "Remember, team," Bianca addressed her cabin crew with her characteristic blend of warmth and authority, "we've got a full flight today, including several VIP passengers in first class. Let's show them why Skyline Airways sets the standard for excellence in the sky." As passengers began boarding, Bianca maintained her professional composure while carefully observing each interaction between her crew and the travelers. Her attention to detail had earned her numerous commendations over the years, and today would be no different. The first-class cabin filled quickly with the usual mix of business executives and celebrities trying to maintain low profiles behind designer sunglasses and casual attire. Everything ran smoothly until they reached cruising altitude. That's when a commotion erupted in first class. A well-dressed passenger in seat 2A was becoming increasingly agitated, his voice rising above the gentle hum of the engines. "Do you have any idea who I am?" The man's face had turned an alarming shade of red as he berated a junior flight attendant. "I specifically requested the entire row to myself. This is completely unacceptable." Bianca observed the situation for a brief moment, noting how her young colleague was struggling to maintain her composure. With graceful efficiency, she moved forward to intervene. "Sir," Bianca spoke with a calm but firm tone that had diffused countless similar situations, "I'm the chief flight attendant. How may I assist you today?" The passenger turned his fury toward her. "Finally, someone with actual authority. I demand to be moved to a private row immediately. I paid a premium for this ticket, and I refuse to be treated like a common traveler." Bianca stood her ground, maintaining eye contact and a professional demeanor. "Sir, I understand your frustration, but I've reviewed the manifest, and there are no empty rows available on this flight. However, I can ensure that you're comfortable in your current seat and provide you with our premium service throughout the journey." "This is outrageous. I'll have your job for this." The man reached for his phone, presumably to document the interaction. "Sir," Bianca's voice remained steady but took on an edge of steel, "I need to remind you that all passengers, regardless of their status, must follow federal aviation regulations and crew member instructions. This is for everyone's safety and comfort. If you continue to be disruptive, I will have no choice but to document this incident, which could affect your future travel privileges with Skyline Airways." The first-class cabin had fallen silent, all eyes on the unfolding situation. Among the observers, a man in a baseball cap and simple black t-shirt watched the interaction with particular interest, though Bianca was too focused on handling the situation to notice him. The irate passenger opened his mouth to protest further, but something in Bianca's unwavering stance made him reconsider. After a tense moment, he slumped back in his seat, muttering under his breath, but notably quieter. "Thank you for your understanding." "Sir," Bianca said, her professional smile never wavering, "I'll have our sommelier select a special wine pairing for your lunch service today, compliments of Skyline Airways." As she turned away, Bianca caught a glimpse of approval on the faces of nearby passengers, though one in particular, the man in the baseball cap, seemed to be taking mental notes. Little did she know that this simple demonstration of leadership and grace under pressure would set in motion a series of events that would challenge everything she thought she knew about her career path and life's purpose. The remainder of the flight proceeded smoothly, with Bianca ensuring that every passenger, including the earlier troublemaker, received impeccable service. As they began their descent into Los Angeles, she couldn't shake the feeling that something significant was about to happen. The California sun painted the sky in brilliant oranges and pinks, a celestial welcome that reminded her why she had fallen in love with aviation in the first place. What awaited her at LAX would test not just her professional skills, but her dedication to the path she had chosen all those years ago, when she first looked up at the Chicago sky and dreamed of making the clouds her home. The familiar symphony of cabin preparations for landing filled the air as Flight SA-1742 approached LAX. Bianca moved through the cabin with practiced efficiency, ensuring every detail was perfect for arrival. As she secured the last overhead compartment, she caught the mysterious passenger in the baseball cap, studying her movements with unexpected intensity. The landing was smooth, and as passengers began to disembark, Bianca stationed herself near the exit to bid them farewell with her signature warm smile. The man in the baseball cap lingered, allowing others to pass. When he finally approached the exit, he paused, removed his cap, and Bianca's professional composure nearly cracked. She found herself face to face with Keanu Reeves. "That was quite impressive," he said softly so only she could hear. "The way you handled that situation earlier, it showed real leadership." Bianca's training kicked in, helping her maintain her composure despite her surprise. "Thank you, Mr. Reeves. We strive to ensure everyone's comfort and safety." He smiled. That famous, gentle expression that had charmed millions. "Would you have a moment to talk after you've completed your duties? I have a proposition that might interest you." Before Bianca could respond, a commotion erupted at the gate. Word had somehow spread that Keanu Reeves was on the flight, and a small crowd of fans and paparazzi had gathered. Camera flashes illuminated the jet bridge as Keanu put his cap back on and made his way into the terminal. An hour later, after completing her post-flight responsibilities, Bianca found herself in a private lounge area of the airport. Keanu Reeves sat across from her, his casual demeanor at odds with the gravity of what he was about to propose. "I've been looking for someone like you," he began, leaning forward slightly. "Someone who understands true leadership and customer service. I saw how you handled that difficult passenger, with firmness but also with dignity. You protected your team member while maintaining professionalism. That's exactly what I need at KR Holdings." Bianca's mind raced as she processed his words. KR Holdings was Keanu Reeves' renowned investment company, known for its ethical business practices and innovative approach to corporate culture. "I'm offering you a position," he continued, "Senior Vice President of Customer Experience and Corporate Culture. The salary would be—" He named a figure that made Bianca's eyes widen. "But more importantly, you'd have the opportunity to transform how our companies interact with both customers and employees." The offer was unprecedented. Bianca felt her world tilting on its axis as she considered the implications. Her colleagues at Skyline Airways passed by the lounge windows, going about their routine duties, unaware of the life-changing conversation happening inside. "I'm honored," Bianca managed to say, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil. "But my entire career has been in aviation. I'm not sure I'm qualified for such a position in the corporate world." Keanu smiled again, this time with a knowing look in his eyes. "That's exactly why I want you. You have something that can't be taught in business school, genuine leadership and human understanding. Everything else can be learned." He paused, reaching into his bag to pull out a folder. "I'd like you to come see our operations firsthand. Tomorrow, if possible. There's something I want to show you about how things really work in my company." Bianca glanced out the window at a Skyline Airways plane taking off, its silver fuselage gleaming in the California sun. The sight stirred something deep within her, that familiar longing for the sky that had driven her since childhood. "I'll need some time to think about it," she said carefully. "Of course," Keanu replied, sliding a business card across the table, "but I should mention, this offer won't be open indefinitely. We need to make changes soon." As Bianca left the airport that evening, the weight of the business card in her pocket felt like a boulder. The setting sun painted the sky in shades of purple and gold, and a plane soared overhead, its engines humming a familiar lullaby. She had always known exactly who she was and what she wanted, a woman of the sky, a guardian of the clouds. But now, for the first time in her career, she found herself questioning everything. That night in her hotel room, Bianca lay awake, her mind replaying the day's events. The difficult passenger, Keanu's unexpected appearance, the life-changing offer, it all seemed surreal. She pulled out her phone and began researching KR Holdings, discovering a company that, despite its success, seemed to be struggling with its soul. Could she really be the one to help find it? And more. Importantly, was she willing to leave behind the only life she'd ever dreamed of? The next morning dawned crisp and clear over Los Angeles. Bianca arrived at the towering KR Holdings headquarters dressed in a sharp business suit rather than her familiar airline uniform. The change of attire felt strange, like wearing someone else's skin. The security guard at the front desk barely glanced at her as she announced herself, directing her to the executive elevator with a dismissive wave. Keanu was waiting in the lobby, dressed down in jeans and a black sweater. His casual appearance contrasted sharply with the pristine corporate environment around them. "Ready for something different?" he asked with a knowing smile. "What exactly do you have planned?" Bianca questioned, noting how several employees did double takes as they passed by, clearly not recognizing their company's famous owner in his deliberately understated attire. "We're going undercover," Keanu explained, leading her toward a side exit. "I want you to see the real KR Holdings, not the polished version they show to executives. We'll visit one of our customer service centers. They don't know I'm coming, and they won't recognize me dressed like this." The drive to the customer service center took them through the heart of Los Angeles. Keanu used the time to explain his vision for the company. "When I started KR Holdings, I wanted to create something different, a company that treated everyone, from the CEO to the newest hire, with genuine respect. Somewhere along the way, that vision got lost in corporate bureaucracy." They pulled into a nondescript office building, bearing the logo of TechFlex, one of KR Holdings' largest subsidiaries. Keanu pulled a baseball cap low over his eyes and gestured for Bianca to follow his lead. "Let's see how they treat ordinary customers." What unfolded over the next 2 hours left both of them increasingly disturbed. They watched as customers were repeatedly dismissed, their concerns minimized or ignored entirely. The staff appeared more interested in their phones than helping people, and the supervisors were nowhere to be found. When Keanu approached the help desk with a deliberately complex technical issue, the representative barely looked up from her screen. "Have you tried turning it off and on again?" she asked in a monotone voice, clearly reciting from a script. "Yes, but the problem persists," Keanu pressed, maintaining his character. "I've been using your product for years, and this is really affecting my business." The representative sighed dramatically. "Well, there's nothing else I can do. Next." Bianca watched the interaction with growing concern, her years of customer service experience screaming at the unprofessionalism on display. She noticed how the employees treated customers differently based on their appearance. Those in expensive suits received marginally better service than those dressed casually, like Keanu. During their lunch break, they witnessed a young employee being berated by his supervisor in full view of customers and colleagues. The supervisor's voice carried across the lobby, humiliating the young man for a minor scheduling mistake. Bianca's hands clenched into fists as she watched, remembering how she had always protected her junior flight attendants from similar treatment. Back in Keanu's car, the actor-turned-businessman was uncharacteristically quiet. Finally, he spoke, his voice heavy with disappointment. "Now you see why I need someone like you. This isn't just about customer service. It's about basic human dignity. These people have forgotten what that means." Bianca thought about her team at Skyline Airways, how they functioned like a family at 35,000 feet. She remembered the countless times they'd supported each other through turbulent flights, difficult passengers, and personal challenges. That sense of unity and purpose seemed entirely absent at TechFlex. "The problem goes deeper than just poor customer service," she observed. "There's no leadership, no accountability, no sense of pride in the work. Everyone seems to be just going through the motions." Keanu nodded, pulling into a beachside parking lot. The sound of waves provided a calming backdrop as they continued their conversation. "That's exactly what I saw in you yesterday, real leadership. The way you handled that difficult passenger showed everything that's missing here. You were..." Firm but fair, professional but human. You protected your team member while maintaining the standards of your airline. He turned to face her directly. I'm offering you more than just a job, Bianca. I'm offering you the chance to transform the culture of an entire organization, to take everything you've learned about leadership and human interaction at 35,000 feet and apply it to help thousands of employees and millions of customers. The ocean breeze carried the scent of salt and possibility, and Bianca found herself torn between two worlds. The corporate environment she'd witnessed today was alien to her, full of problems that seemed overwhelming. Yet something stirred within her, the same instinct that had always pushed her to help others, to make situations better, to lead by example. A plane passed overhead, its powerful engines drawing her gaze skyward. The sight triggered memories of countless flights, of the satisfaction she felt ensuring her passengers' safety and comfort. But it also reminded her of something else. The growing rumors of financial trouble at Skyline Airways, the whispered conversations about potential layoffs, the increasing pressure to do more with less. Back at her hotel that evening, Bianca sat at the window watching planes take off and land at LAX. Each aircraft's lights twinkled against the darkening sky, a familiar dance she had witnessed thousands of times. Her phone buzzed with messages from her Skyline Airways colleagues, curious about why she had taken an unexpected day off, and wondering about the rumors circulating about her being seen with Keanu Reeves. A news alert caught her attention. Skyline Airways stock had dropped another 15%. The article mentioned potential restructuring and the possibility of route cuts. Bianca's stomach tightened as she thought about her team, about the family she had built in the sky. Her hotel room phone rang, startling her from her thoughts. It was Jessica Chen, Skyline Airways Chief Operating Officer. Bianca, Jessica's voice was tense. I'll be direct. We've heard about Keanu Reeves's offer. I want you to know that you're valued here at Skyline. You're one of our best, and we don't want to lose you. Bianca listened as Jessica continued, hearing the strain in her superior's voice. But I also need to be honest with you. The industry is changing. We're facing challenges, and while we're fighting to maintain our current staffing levels, I can't make any guarantees about the future. The conversation left Bianca more conflicted than ever. She stepped onto her room's balcony, the warm California evening enveloping her like an embrace. Her mind wandered to the day's observations at TechFlex, to the broken corporate culture she had witnessed. Could she really make a difference there? Or would she be swallowed up by the same system that had created these problems? Her phone buzzed again, this time with an email from Keanu. Attached was a formal offer letter, the salary figure making her breath catch. But it was the personal note that followed that really caught her attention. Bianca, today confirmed what I suspected when I watched you on that flight. You have a gift, not just for leadership, but for bringing out the best in people. I saw how the problems at TechFlex affected you, how you instantly recognized not just what was wrong, but how to fix it. You have an opportunity to help not just one flight of passengers, but millions of people who interact with our companies every day. The choice is yours, but know that I believe in your ability to create real change, Keanu. A knock at her door interrupted her thoughts. Opening it, she found a courier with a large envelope from Skyline Airways. Inside was a letter announcing her promotion to Regional Supervisor of In-Flight Services, along with a modest raise and expanded benefits package. Under normal circumstances, this would have been a dream come true, the next step in her aviation career. But now, staring at the two offers side by side, Bianca felt the weight of the choice before her. The Skyline Airways promotion represented everything she had worked toward, a chance to continue her journey in the field she loved. Yet the position at KR Holdings offered not just financial security, but the opportunity to tackle bigger challenges, to help more people, to transform an entire corporate culture. She thought about the young employees she had watched being humiliated at TechFlex, about the countless customers being dismissed and disrespected. She thought about her own team at Skyline Airways, about the family they had become, about the joy of ensuring safe and comfortable journeys for thousands of passengers. The California night deepened around her as she wrestled with her decision. From her balcony, she could see planes taking off from LAX, their lights forming a steady stream into the darkness. Each one carried its own collection of stories, dreams, and destinations, just like the two paths now lying before her. A message appeared on her phone from one of her junior flight attendants. "Missing our sky captain. The clouds aren't the same without you." The simple text brought tears to her eyes, reminding her of all the relationships she had built, all the lives she had touched at 35,000 feet. She picked up both offer letters, feeling their weight, not just the physical paper, but the weight of possibility. Each represented. One path led to the familiar embrace of the sky, to the world she had always known and loved. The other led into unknown territory, to challenges she had never faced and problems she wasn't sure she could solve. As midnight approached, Bianca Carter, the woman who had always known exactly who she was and what she wanted, found herself at a crossroads. The decision she would make wouldn't just change her life, it would affect countless others, whether they were airline passengers or corporate employees. The question wasn't just about which job to take, it was about who she truly was and who she wanted to become. Dawn broke over Los Angeles as Bianca stood in the flight deck of a Skyline Airways Boeing 787, watching the pre-flight checks with a newfound appreciation. She had asked the pilots if she could observe their morning routine, something she'd done countless times before, but today felt different. The precise movements, the careful attention to detail, the unwavering commitment to safety, it all spoke to her on a deeper level. "Everything all right, Bianca?" Captain Sarah Martinez asked, noticing her unusual quietness. "Just thinking," Bianca replied, her hand resting on the back of the captain's seat. The cockpit's instruments glowed. In the early morning light, each one representing years of aviation innovation and safety protocols. This was a world built on precision, responsibility, and unwavering dedication to protecting human life. She thought about her conversation with Keanu the previous evening. She had called him late after hours of contemplation to share her decision. His response had surprised her. "Before you tell me your choice," he had said, "I want to share something with you. Today, after our visit to TechFlex, I made some significant changes. I fired the entire senior management team there. Their behavior was unacceptable, and I realized I had been too distant from my own companies." Bianca had listened, reminded of the countless times she'd had to make tough decisions at 35,000 feet. "But here's what really matters," Keanu had continued. "Watching you today, seeing how naturally you identified problems and solutions, made me understand something crucial. True leadership isn't about titles or salaries, it's about being exactly where you're meant to be, doing what you're meant to do." Now standing in the cockpit as the sun painted the sky in brilliant oranges and pinks, Bianca thought about those words. She made her way back to the cabin where her crew was preparing for boarding. Every movement was choreographed. Every detail checked and double-checked. This wasn't just a job, it was a calling. The first passengers began boarding and Bianca took her position, greeting each one with genuine warmth. A young girl clutched her mother's hand, looking nervous about her first flight. "Would you like to be my special assistant today?" Bianca asked, kneeling to the child's level. The girl's face lit up, fear transforming into excitement. As the cabin filled, Bianca moved through her duties with practiced grace, but her mind kept returning to her final decision. She had turned down both offers, Keanu's executive position and Skyline's promotion. Instead, she had proposed something different entirely. "I can help KR Holdings," she had told Keanu, "but not by leaving aviation. Let me create a partnership between Skyline Airways and your company. We can develop a corporate training program based on aviation's culture of safety, service, and leadership. Your employees can learn from our industry's decades of experience in handling high-pressure situations, maintaining professionalism, and putting human safety and dignity first." Keanu had been silent for a moment before responding with enthusiasm. "That's actually brilliant. You're not choosing between two worlds. You're building a bridge between them." The partnership would launch next month. Skyline Airways would provide leadership training to KR Holdings companies, while KR Holdings would invest in Skyline's expansion, ensuring the airline's financial stability. Bianca would lead the program while maintaining her role in the sky, teaching corporate employees the principles that made aviation special: unwavering professionalism, genuine care for others, and the understanding that every interaction matters. As Flight SA-1743 climbed through the clouds, Bianca watched the California coast disappear beneath them. She thought about all the lives that would be touched by this new venture: airline passengers, corporate employees, and everyone in between. She hadn't chosen the easy path or the most lucrative one. Instead, she had chosen to stay true to herself while finding a way to expand her impact. The young girl from earlier was now happily drawing in her seat, her fear of flying forgotten. Bianca smiled, knowing she had made the right choice. The sky had always been her home, but now she had found a way to share its lessons with the world below. A steward approached with the cabin report, and Bianca returned to her duties, her heart full. Some people spend their whole lives searching for their purpose. She had found hers all those years ago, watching planes over Chicago, and today she had found a way to make that purpose even bigger. The plane leveled at cruise altitude, sunlight streaming through the windows. Bianca Carter, chief flight attendant and now executive consultant to KR Holdings, walked the aisle of her aerial office, exactly where she was meant to be. The end. Dear listeners, we hope Bianca's story of staying true to her calling while finding innovative ways to make a broader impact has resonated with you. Her journey reminds us that sometimes the best path forward isn't choosing between two options, but creating an entirely new one. For more inspiring stories that explore the complexities of modern life and career choices, click the subscribe button on your left. Don't forget to leave a like if Bianca's story touched you, and share your own experiences of staying true to your path in the comments below. We have a special playlist of similar stories about finding your true purpose while making a difference in unexpected ways. Join us,